You gotta see it.
Meet Grant Menard. This self-made entrepreneur and car collector has been living the automotive lifestyle since his teens. What started out as selling Doritos and Arnold Palmer's out of the back of his Mustang in high school has now led to a successful career in the automotive industry. When he's not meeting with clients nationwide, you can find him managing his successful detailing shops in Bucks County, just outside of Philadelphia. I caught up with my old friend at one of his beautiful shops for a chat and a wild ride.
Here with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Grant Menard. And in this beautiful space, this pretty legendary man cave that you've created, Car Heads. And we've got a little bit of your collection here. You know, you and I go way back.
We do.
And it's so fun to be, because you've actually interviewed me before.
It's hard being on this side.
You don't know what to do with yourself.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Well, and actually, you know, you're a big reason for us being here today. I mean, we're like family at this point,
We are,
really.
100%,
Really.
yeah.
You're part of the Urable family, which is our family, one of our title sponsors, and we love Urable. And now you've taken over sales for them, I hear.
Doing a little bit.
A great job.
Yeah.
But it's been such an evolution for you from where you started to here. So I kind of want to talk about that a little bit before we go into this amazing collection.
Sure.
So what started you into the car business? And I don't even know this, and I've known you for quite a bit of time.
Yeah, so actually it plays off with this Mustang behind me here, and this car started everything for me. So that's the first car I bought when I was in college and internship at a local car dealership, ROKU dealership. And that car came in the lot, and I bought it off the lot that day. And I really learned how to work hard when buying that car, because my mom said, hey, you can buy this, but you have 3 months to pay it off. So I worked every single day. I worked my butt off over there at the dealership, 8 to 8, Monday through Friday, 8 to 6 on Saturdays. I was able to pay that car off in that summer alone, and then brought it to Penn State with me. Took my wife on her first date in it, and actually got my first detail job through that car too.
You got to tell the people, for those who don't know,
Yeah.
what you do now, because you have a pretty amazing business that you've grown for yourself.
Yeah, I got a detail shop, Menard Premium Detailing. Again, that started from this Mustang. It was kind of the silhouette of our logo from back in the day, and that transitioned into everything I have today. All the businesses, including this place.
Detailing, what other services do you offer at Menard?
So we do cars, boats, planes, some homes as well. We got into some dumpsters, oddly enough, and ceramic coating those. But ceramic coating, paint protection film, just all the protection side. So that's due to my mom. My mom is super OCD. Like, you walk into her house and you would never guess that she had a party the night before with 50 people. She's just always keeping things nice and clean, and that's what transitioned into my life. So it was really easy when I started cleaning cars, because I loved it. And it was part of my blood, kind of part of who I am.
Okay, so tell us about your car collection here, because this is not all of it, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you told
Which
us.
is funny to say, yeah. 'Cause this is all new to me, right? This is all. I mean, I came from nothing, like most. Like, I wasn't handed anything. So even when I married my wife, I had $113 to my name. So this is kind of cool to see, even it lit up like this, how cool it is to bring this all together.
Yeah. Talking about community, we actually interviewed someone that you got a couple of these cars from.
Yeah.
You guys have kind of gone back and forth for a little while with your little love affair.
100%. We sure have. Yeah.
Jordan Sawalka, we met him in Scottsdale. He has an amazing collection. Tell us a couple of the things that you took from his collection that are now part of yours.
Yeah, so I started, the car's not here because unfortunately I crashed it on a track a couple weeks ago, but I know. But the car that came after my Mustang was my 2013 WRX. I had big turboed it, pulled the motor out, did a full STI swap. So that was the car that started it for me on the Subaru side, and that was due to my brother Reed, who was into Subarus and kind of brought me into that world. And then Jordan actually called me on this car, which is the WRC, the spec car. It's got an incredible story behind it that we'll go over at some point, I'm sure. But Jordan started with this, so he called me on it, and he's like, hey, I got this car, and I knew this car. And the only reason he's selling it, based off Jordan's collection, is because of one reason. It's white.
Oh, I was going to say, it's not black.
It's not black. So I knew this car from SEMA. It's a really well-documented car. It's a car that I've always loved, and even in his collection. So when he called me on it and offered it to me, I mean, how am I supposed to say no? I was like, absolutely, it doesn't matter the cost. I'm happy to go to take it. And he gave it, being best buds, it was a good deal. So I ended up buying that car, and then a year later, he had this 04 STI, 11,000 miles, gentleman spec, gentleman built. Had that car this whole time and just needed space because as we could tell from Jordan's car collection, nothing's under 6 figures anymore. So those are the 2 cars that actually came from Arizona, and then that just kept going. This car I found locally right after I bought Jordan's car. The RS6 came shortly after that, and then I'm a big truck guy too, love my big rigs.
It's so interesting to me how people find their little niches and of interest.
Yeah.
And yours is Subaru.
It's Subaru and Ford, and here's the thing.
Okay.
This is what I've come to realize.
Tell me.
Because everyone's like, why do you need so many cars? And the simplest answer is every car here has a purpose. There's not one single car in here, well, other than these 2, because you really can't drive them because they're low mileage. But every car I own, I drive. And every car, I believe, deserves 100,000 miles at minimum. Mm-hmm. And all the cars in here are going to be there. That car already hit it. This one's going to be next. The Audi, if I keep it, is going to be one after that. So every car, to me, has a purpose for what it's driven. I got my dad wagon now. I got my fun weekend car drive. Want to rip it around corners, which I'm sure we're going to do. I got my top-down car for the summer. That's not fast, but sounds good. I got my trucks, when I need to go pick up something. I got one to haul, one to drive around that's, high-powered. So every car has a purpose to me. They're beautiful in art, for sure, but they're way more beautiful when they're driving down the road and getting the absolute crap beat out of them.
Why Subaru?
It's just a cool brand, and everyone can afford it. You can pick up a Subaru, even like an older WRX or a 2013 WRX for like 10 grand.
Sure.
And from a 16-year-old who's getting his first car all the way up to now these cars, which are 04 and 05, almost 20 years ago, that now you got these 40, 50-year-olds that when you bring these up, their eyes light up. And they're like, I remember when that car came out.
Is this the one we're driving?
100%,
today?
yeah.
Okay.
And this car I actually drove back from, I flew out to Jordan's to pick it up. So we went on a car rally, Corsa rally, which is where I met Jordan initially. So yeah, we're gonna go have some fun in this thing. There's a cool road that's my favorite road whenever I wanna hit up, wake up early on a Saturday and get out in the roads. This is the car I take, and that's the road I always hit. So I think we can go have some fun on it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's go.
How often do you drive those?
This car?
Yeah.
All the time. Bought it last year, or 2 years ago now. Not even 3 years.
And Jordan kept this car for you 2 years before you bought it?
No, the black car.
Oh, okay.
Jordan called me on this, and right away I was like, yeah, absolutely. So he gave me this car, or I bought this car off him, and then we had that Corsa rally. So John and I, my buddy John and I, jumped in. This is John, just as big as me. It's like about 2 big dudes in this thing. We're like 5,000 miles.
Holy sh!
And we're going with Lambos, Ferraris, Aston Martins, you name it, like these high-powered hypercars or exotics.
Yeah.
And then we were like, oh, dude, it'd be sick. Let's bring a Subaru. Like, horrible idea.
Because your Subaru's spicy.
Oh, stop this.
Because you're spicy Subaru.
Oh, God. Cut. So we ended up going on this car rally, and this thing, we flew out. We ended up having to send these seats. So I put these Sparco SPXs in, which I love these seats. They're really cool.
They are.
Yeah, carbon bucket, super comfortable seats. Don't belong in a Subaru under any means, but usually you see these cars in exotics or Porsches, track cars. So, but John and I were like, dude, there's no way we're fitting into the seats. They had some OMP seats that were in it. Gorgeous, gorgeous seats, but I got some white hips. This car ended up taking it up Pikes Peak, which is the world-renowned race hill of, the world, where everyone's racing up. So this car went up Pikes Peak. And it's not a high horsepower car, so we were halfway up and the atmosphere started hitting, and next thing you know, this thing was running at like 80 horsepower. So we got it up to like 9,500 feet, which is pretty damn good for this. And then took it on the salt flats, and then shipped it back from Vail. So that was like my first drive in this thing was, 3,500 miles of, in high speed, right? This is not, this car's meant for the track.
Yeah.
Like handling the road really well. I could take a corner going 120 in this.
What?
Top speed down the hill with John and I, going like this. We hit 132. So that's all it's got.
So, if not for speed, for handling?
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to feel some cornering real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
Coming at you, boys.
Woo! Holy! Jeez! Oh, that's
It brings a
cool.
smile. See, sometimes you don't need high horsepower speed. And this car is not about, like, there's no noise canceling in this thing.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. It's a loud car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rear seats elite. The dude put the half cage in, all welded to the ground, all TIG welded. which again nobody does, which is awesome.
Oh my God, that is fun.
That's like half tilt. So think about this, like this is a weekend car.
Yeah.
It's perfect. If I was in the countryside where I could really open it up and I needed something, like my RS6, like that's the car I go high power, top speed in.
Yeah.
That's why this car is just so much fun.
What is that even for? That little porthole.
So this is a roof scoop.
Uh-huh.
So in racing, there's no AC because the AC cars take away from power, and they add a ton of weight.
Yeah.
Not a ton of weight, but they definitely got weight. But they're all about weight reduction. So this is a way to cool down the driver when they're driving. So they go like this when they want to cool down, and that's their AC system. You asked me the question earlier too. It's like, why Subarus?
Yeah.
And it's difficult. I mean, one, because they're all affordable. The cool thing is, well, transitionally, drivers go from Subarus to M3s, Porsches, then into an exotic to some degree. And at all times, most of the guys, I mean, once you get into the Porsche realm, Porsches are Porsches, and that's, I had a Porsche and I loved every bit of it. But there's just something about just getting into a Subaru that brings you back to the days that you started driving or you started to appreciate cars more than like your Honda Accord, which are still cool.
I always think about Subaru drivers, like, I think about the people that drive Subarus, they're like the same people that wear those like river shoes. And don't wear deodorant.
Yeah. Give me a sniff. Come on in.
Yeah, you're good.
I think I'm good. And I've owned a lot of Subarus outside of WRXs and STIs. I like, whenever I purchase anything, I always go for the top end. I don't want to work my way up. I always would rather just save up to go for the best. Mm-hmm. And that's throughout my cars.
Yeah.
Especially more recent, I'm super grateful and lucky to be able to afford I guess the better of them, if you were to say that.
I wouldn't say luck. I think you definitely earned it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way. It's kind of cool. Like that's why when we were sitting there and I was looking back and I almost started tearing up. So like it's cool. Like I don't see things like that. It's like I go with the flow every day and I wake up and enjoy every moment of it. And the cars are not what's defined me under any means.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is I let people, and anybody that wants to take out a car, I'm like, go ahead.
Yeah.
So I'm not a guy that's like, I just want to enjoy this for myself. I want everybody to enjoy them. Like cars, that's what they're meant to be. That's why cars and coffees are so neat, is because the greed kind of goes away. Because you build community around them. I mean, you heard from almost everybody you've interviewed or that you get to meet at these cars and coffees, that the enthusiast level of the cars and coffee. I mean, think about it. You have 2 days off in a weekend typically, right? From the 9 to 5. And you want to wake up early in the morning to go and hang out with car people for like 2-3 hours. It's the first thing you want to do on your day off. And then typically that extends to now where you're eating lunches with new people, old people, older friends.
Yeah.
You're trading cars, you're going on drives.
Yeah.
It's moving into Sunday, like you're going out. So it really does build friendship and community around it, which is so neat. Yeah, that's why it's powerful.
It is pretty powerful. Pretty peaceful here, it seems like. Yeah.
It's all small little micro towns around.
Yes.
Have great bars and awesome food, cool place to shop, and then you can take the train out of Princeton to New York City, be there and back in an hour and a half, 2 hours.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like that sometimes? Like you just don't know what you want to do with your life?
I did for years.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I figured it out. And then I just had to figure out how to get businesses to run for me so that I could go and do what I wanted to do.
Yes.
Which is exactly what I mentioned. Drive cars,
Yeah.
golf, travel a ton, fly my plane.
Yeah.
And that's where when I'm in those like 4 aspects of life is when I feel most like I'm actually living the life I want, like most comforted.
Subscribe now and never miss an episode of Cars and Coffee Exposed.